Hey guys, so we have been diving into Edify's 5-day devotional, The Journey to Edification. So we're always talking about ways to edify, how to edify, what is edify. This devotional is basically what it truly means to edify. So today we are kicking things off with day 1, which is a hard one. Humility. That ain't easy. First off, what is humility? Humility is a quality or state of being humble, which is characterized by a modest or a low view of one's own importance or rank. It involves an attitude of meekness, unpretentiousness, and a willingness to put others' needs before yourself. So when I read this, I thought it was interesting because most people, when they read about humility or they read on humility, it can kind of be seen as passive or being weak.
Like a doormat.
Right.
Where you're forgetting about yourself.
Exactly.
Completely.
So my question is, where is the line that is drawn between self-worth and humility as Christians?
You have to have a lot of self-worth. When you're not being humble, you overcompensate because there's a conflict. I don't know if that makes any sense, but humility is self-worth.
Wow.
So, as Christians, I do feel like that's extremely important in knowing who you are, because God knows who you are.
Right.
God knows who he created you to be, and you should know that as well.
Another way to view humility, when you truly understand what it is, you view other people as the same level. You don't see yourself as more important than you are. Whatever you do, whatever job you have, how much money you make, that doesn't really matter when it comes to humility in that sense. So there is no in that sense when it comes to humility, period.
Yeah. I'm sure we've all seen where you have the crabs in a bucket, and each crab is trying to get out of the bucket, but they're worrying about themselves.
But if they would just work together,
like
you could all,
they would all get out. But they're all pulling on each other, worrying about themselves, not prioritizing each other.
None of them are getting out.
So it's a big circle. You're not going anywhere.
I kind of like how you put that, because how can humility tie into unity? That's another day of the devotional, which is a really good day. I've read all of the days already, but how does that foster a sense of unity in a community, or even in your church home, or literally wherever you are?
When you're on an airplane, the airplane is, God forbid, it's about to go down.
What?
That escalated quickly. And you have the masks that come down, and they always tell you have to put it on yourself first before you can help the person next to you. And I feel like in that same way, the only way to get to unity, being unified, that's a group, that's numbers. The only way to get to that point and having that goal is working on yourself, being sure of yourself, being humble enough to know that it's not all about you. It's with community. You can go much further.
Yeah.
You can accomplish a lot more
than being by yourself. That was a great analogy. It's just one big circle.
It's building block. They're Legos.
You gotta work on yourself first
in order to, be able
to cooperate with everybody else.
Yeah.
So out of all of day 1, I know there's multiple really good parts about it, but what was your favorite part?
Really quickly, it says, just as Satan did in his time in heaven, it can be easy for us to see the wisdom, beauty, abilities, and even authority that God blesses us with as a cause to be prioritized, lifted up, and deserving of special privileges.
Right.
This entitlement leads to sure destruction. So I think my favorite part is God created us in his image, right? So there are billions of people in the world, right? And so we all have great things about us. You may have one person that is really good at encouraging. You may have somebody that is just really good at art. Like,
everybody has their own skill set.
So in knowing that, how dare we be entitled just because we know that, oh, I'm awesome.
Right.
Like, God gave me.
Who are you?
Right. You didn't even go here. So
you think you deserve a seat at the table because of
and
whatever.
That's where Satan went wrong.
Exactly.
That is
after
where he
what
went
you
wrong.
just read, my favorite part of what you just read is the pride part. One of the earliest sins that was introduced was pride.
Man.
Pride is the birth of all sin. That's
wow.
I mean, it goes hand in hand with humility. If you don't have humility,
you have pride. It's one or the other. There's nothing wrong with being talented, but remember
who gave it to you.
You can't do it without him, and you definitely can't do it without community.
Okay, thank you guys for joining us. We're not going to read through all of the questions and all of the content. The whole team wants you to read everything that's in the devotional.
Yourself.
And yeah, for you to reflect. Hopefully this really touches you guys the way that it touched us reading it. This was just day 1. We're going to do this for every day of the devotional, so definitely come back to see us. So yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.